Hi guys, I'm Neodyinamite and welcome back to Depraved. Now, just so you're gonna keep aware of this, I tried to put this thing as a guide videos to set up like a proper city, but forgive me if this is gonna look more of a let's play. I try my best to actually provide you a little bit of a guide because we already did a town in Depraved in the previous let's say season. So right now I'm trying to give you a more or less a view how to properly develop a city so it won't collapse and we're going completely bloody bankrupt. So at the moment, as you can see, we are at winter, and this is actually a good season to start farming. I'm not think that you'll be able to get farming in the first year. Well, it is possible. Honestly, I don't think there's a point of that, simply because you can completely easily rely yourself on food delivered by the hunters at the beginning. So, for example, I have 2 hunters over here who are constantly providing me with necessary food for my town. So those buildings in the middle are just temporary. Later on we're gonna try to destroy them. The game received 2 updates since the previous let's say guide. The first update is that, if I remember correctly, now the animals can actually breed. So that means if you want completely kill every single animal there is on the map, there is a high chance that the animals will try to make you younglings. See, for example, this one. This one, young over here. So, even though that provides you exactly the same amount of food, and you're not supposed to have this type of horns when you're this small, man. My god, children grow fast those years. So yeah, animals now can actually breed one another, so that will provide you hunter with even more work, so he won't all of a sudden run out of stuff to do. So that's one important thing. The other important thing is that I've noticed this thing a lot of times in the previous episodes and the previous series, is that once a woodcutter cuts all of the wood, then that's it. He cannot plant new trees by himself. Now developers have finally heard the players of the players, and now they have added a new building, which is exactly a forester. And the forester is exactly as it sounds. It just plants you new trees. Also, I don't know what happened on the map thingy over here. This is new. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but okay, whatever, man. All right, so let's see what we could try to do. First things first, I've got a little bit of more money. As you can see, I have 23,000 at the moment. I was gathering money since the previous episode, so now we can extend the territory even more. Now the next extension is going to be 10,000 cash, so I can afford it. And this provides me with a very nice land boost. Is there another one I can buy? Yes, there's another territorial expand. I think this city is already as big as this used to be in the previous. Okay. So now, since we have the possibility to plant trees, I don't have to worry about this forest. I can literally go crazy with it. So, when you want to start making your own food, because you're gonna get to the point where the hunter won't be able to provide you with necessary food for all of your citizens, you need to do something different. And this is where the grain farm comes to play. Basically, this thing will plant grain that later on you can try to use to feed other farms. A cattle farm, a pig farm, and a sheep farm, if I remember correctly. Also, you can try to make bread out of grain. So grain is basically the beginning of every other food chain production, and you need that thing. Now, because there's winter, you don't see, but if you're gonna look at the minimap, you see that there are different colored areas. You have, well, the white one is of course snow. This is the snow that will always be here, no matter the time of the year. Then you have this sandish, light brownish color. This is basically the desert, the desolated land. Nothing grows here, and most of the times you find aggressive animals like bears and wolves most of the time over here. However, in the lands like this, there's most of the time also the best resources when it comes to mining, so gold. And then you have, of course, the light greenish area, which is a little bit better when it comes to farming. Actually putting some kind of farm on this land is quite okay. Then you have this little darker green. I'm not exactly sure how much boost this one provides. I think it's 70%. And then is the dark green. Now the dark green is excellent quality ground. Most of the time on the dark green you'll find forest. Most of the time you'll find lots of packs of animals as well. Now, if you really want to start farming, I highly recommend that you're gonna try to build the farms on the dark green. Why exactly? Because each of the farms, expect maybe for the pig farm, has something like a percentage of how good they will be able to use the ground, right? So for example, if I'm gonna try to build the grain farm on the desolated land, then the soil quality is 10. It's bad. To actually grow anything over here is gonna be an issue. And then if you're gonna move the farm to the forest area, which is over here, the soil quality is excellent, which means that this thing will provide you with excellent yield. And this is quite important when it comes to making a good chain production for food. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's happening with the graphics over here, but I'm gonna try to just build this thing somehow. I just need to, okay, I'm gonna like, okay, maybe like this. Right, this works. Okay, so let's look for 100 quality, and I'm gonna build it literally on the edge of the map. So like over here. There you go. And if I really want to, I can build another one next to it, but I don't think for now I'm gonna try to do it. Now, the thing is, the next farm is a thing called the big farm. The big farm is a little bit different because cattle farms during summer, autumn, and spring will try to eat the grass underneath the farm. During winter, you need to provide them with grain. All right. Now, the pig farm is an expectation because the pig farm will always require grain from you. It will always require something to feed the pigs with. The pigs cannot eat the grass. So the thing is that the cattle farm, for example, and the grain farm need to be built on good quality of the soil, while the pig farm can be richly built on the desert, and nobody's gonna give a two shits about it. So keep that thing in mind, right? Now, the next thing that you need to build when it comes to pigs is something called the butchery. Now, the butchery is in a different section, if I remember correctly. And this should be over here. There it goes. So the butcher basically kills the livestock, cattle and pigs alike. Later on, we should also try to get the sheep farm, which is this. All right, and basically, in order to unlock the sheep farm, you need to build the grain farm. So we have to wait for this thing to get constructed. Our builders are already on their way. So we're gonna build that, and then we're gonna try to expand for the next chain production. Right, the grain farm is finally finished, and now we have to wait for like a worker. Now the thing is that this thing won't work till winter's around, so we have to like wait for the winter to end. However, in the meantime, I can try to build the pig farm, and I think I'll be able to, yes, I can build the sheep farm. So the thing is that next to the grain, it should be, okay, why exactly this thing is 10 quality? This is quite interesting. And depending on the surface, in the winter, the supplementary feeding amount to 100. Why this is... interesting. So... Oh, okay. So, this have changes since the demo version. I mean, actually, the early access version. Okay, so normally when it comes to this, like when you build the grain farm will tell you like exactly the quality of the land, right? So this one is like 100. And when it comes to sheep farm, apparently this thing is different because this is the necessary supplement feeding, which means that the sheep farm will require 10% of its normal feeding process to be made out of grain, right? So the remaining one will be from the grass around. So let's actually try to build that thing. Can I like actually rotate this thing to save space? I don't think so. I can actually do that thing. Okay, actually this is not a bad thing to do. Let's try to build it like this. Okay, so that's one thing. In the meantime, I can try to build the pig farm. Now the pig farm is a little bit smaller and it doesn't have like the boost from the quality of the land, so I can build it whatever I want. What exactly we could try to build you? I need to build you quite close to the grain farm because you need to get supplied with grain. But then again, from the other hand, I need to build you next to a well or something. So how about I'm just gonna build you here temporarily, and later on we're gonna see. So build it over there. Now both of those farms will require water as well, so make sure that you're gonna build like a well somewhere nearby. Okay, there you go. This looks nice. Right, so we have the sheep farm ready. The pig farm is also gonna get ready very soon. So, I did not make it. Okay, basically the idea is that I wanted to buy grain from the trader, but I didn't make it. So the winter is almost at the end, but still before the grain is gonna grow, it's gonna take some time. So I'm just gonna order like a bunch of grain supply from the trader next time he's gonna come around. You can use that thing like the town center to request resources that you don't have and you actually like need like immediately. So keep that thing in mind, that sometimes it's actually quite good to spend like a few bucks just to save your like little town, instead of like starting the game from the very beginning or getting so deep into shit that we won't be able to salvage the city. So just saying. Right. Now, keep in mind that this is not like super the best placement. However, the best thing to do about the pig farm is to build it quite close to the grain farm. The sheep farm does not necessarily need to be that close, but the pig farm needs, because it cannot provide the pigs with its own food, right? You need to provide the pig farm with actually grain. So building this thing close to the grain farm is actually quite good an idea. same goes for the mill. The cattle farm applies the same as the sheep farm, so it's good to build it like in some distance from the grain farm, but you don't have to build it literally next to it, because that's like completely pointless. Yeah, exactly. And grain has just arrived by the trader, so that means we have now like a steady supply of grain. Now the workers will try to pick it up and deliver it to the pig farm and to the sheep farm, since this is winter at the moment. So that means that the sheep cannot eat the grass, right? We don't even have any sheep at the moment, because like the thing is with the farms that it takes them a while to start growing, especially the grain farm, because after each winter it has to start from the beginning, so it takes some time for the grain farm to get on the road. But later on you're gonna get so much grain if you're gonna put the farm on the good soil quality that you won't even know what to do with all of it. And selling is not actually that beneficial, because like grain is super cheap. But then again, the sheep farm, once it starts going and you are able to provide it with steady supply of grain, same goes for the pig farm, then basically you'll be drowning in resources. So, you know, don't try to build too many farms at the beginning, because you have to supply them with resources, and at the beginning you need to provide them with quite the amount of resources in order to get those things on the road, because they need like food to get the piglets, and then like get the bigger pigs and stuff like that. But you may accidentally end with a point where you're gonna have so much resources that your warehouses will get overflowed and you won't be able to store anything else. And keep in mind that all of the buildings, no matter that they're working or not, require upkeep from you, right? So yeah, building like a bunch of them from one point is okay, but then again, upkeep, resources, and manpower. But you also need to provide the people who work here with necessary housing, food, clothing, and defenses from animals and bandits. So yeah, try to keep it slow. Spring has started, so now that means that the grain farm will finally start to work as well. Now, I decided to do a little bit of rebuilding in the town, so as you can see, I've destroyed like almost half of the city actually. But hey, this is actually gonna be okay. Now, the pig farm, like this is temporary. I think I'm gonna later on try to build it over here, because I did not solve where the high quality land was. So building the pig farm on the like good quality land is like a little bit of a waste, so keep that thing in mind. So probably gonna rebuild it like later on over here. Now I have also some space over here, which we could try to build something. Wait, actually, you know what? I'm thinking about building the pig farm over here and then building the butchery over here, because the graveyard will be moved anyway next to the church. This is not actually a bad idea. So now let's destroy this butchery from here, and I'm gonna build the pig farm here-ish. And then I can try to build the butcher next to you. Like this. I don't think this is actually a bad idea, you know? And because of the smell, like, the smell is gonna be, like, far away. So that's okay. And later on we could try to squeeze, like, a cattle farm over here, I believe. I cannot build it at the moment because I don't have the necessary population requirements for that. Yeah, I need exactly 5 settlers to build that thing. So that's, like, the next level of people living in your town. I could try to squeeze something here, but I'm not exactly sure what. Okay, we're gonna keep in mind this space over here is free for us to use. Now, the weaving mill over here is required, something funny, is required to turn the wool into like clothing. So we're gonna build it over here, really close to the sheep farm. And then in front of it, as soon as I be able to, we're gonna build ourselves the tailor. Now the tailor is basically the thing that makes you clothing, and I need to destroy this warehouse over here before I be able to do anything. That's fine. I have all of the money necessary, so I can just like rebuild stuff around. This is why I was like playing a little bit in between the episodes, just to be sure that I have enough resources to play around, right? I could try to build houses over here, but I don't think they're gonna enjoy the smell. There's gonna be a smelly neighborhood, you know? Okay, maybe ignore that idea for now at least. Okay, I don't know why, but previous time when I was playing Depraved, I had like different houses. Now I have only one type of house, and I think there's some screenshots that the player had the possibility to build bigger houses. I think you have to later on be able to upgrade those houses, but I don't know how to force the game to do so. So later on those shacks will change a tiny bit, and those 3 buildings in the middle will also disappear, because this is gonna be like the main street of the city. Look at all of this sexy grain. Look at it. Oh yes. Now actually a good idea is to build a warehouse nearby and allow it to accept grain. So keep that thing in mind, because you need kind of like have a supply of grain during winter. just to fuel up the sheep farms, the cattle farms, and the pig farms, especially the pig farms or at least the cattle farms if you're gonna be making food. Because once your city gets to the point where your hunter won't be able to provide you with necessary food, you don't want to get starvation, you know? Yeah, sure, you can always try to buy grain from the market, but where's the point of it? Like, building a warehouse is just like way better money-wise, since it costs you only like $5 per hour to upkeep, and like a single house fully stacked, like a shack, the basic house, provides you with 36 of money, right? So, and for 36, I think cash you can buy maybe 3 grain? 3 units of grain? Or maybe 4 units of grain? I'm not exactly sure, but not much. I like when you people don't have anything else to do, like they just stand like turn their backs against the building, or they just go to the town center and like slack around over there. So it makes your town look really natural, which is very cool for a game like this, because let's be honest over here, there is not much of a games with town building mechanics where you get to the point where people actually don't have anything to do and they just like, you know, slack around. Also, this is like quite cool that the people actually make what's this? Show arm residence. Oh, this is new. I did not saw that thing. This is so cool. So now I don't have to remember who I gave a gun to. Oh, this is really cool. This is really nice. So yeah, where was I? I forgot. Yeah, the town is like quite natural. Like, they make a campfire, and even though those two people don't know one another, they try to stick together because, like, you know, night, so it's like better to stay together. It's like one campfire. It's really cool that you have this thing now. So now I will say exactly where are people with arms. Just in case somebody's gonna try to attack me. Very nice. Right, my production chain is finally ready. So we start from the grain farm, which is this thing. Only works during summer, spring, and autumn. Not that much, I think, during autumn. So you get this thing over here. I'm not exactly sure how many villages you need to have. I mean, pioneers you need to have in order to unlock it, but you need to have like a few. After this thing gets built, you get unlocked the pig farm if you have the people, and I think you're gonna get unlocked the sheep farm as well, which is in the different section apparently. The pig farm is in the food section. The sheep farm is in the production section, right? So the pig farm can be built whatever, even on the desert. Nobody gonna give a two shits about this. However, the sheep farm is just as the grain farm, a good idea to build on good quality soil. Same goes for the cattle farm, that unlocks later on as the game will progress. Also, I just unlocked the possibility to make the mill and the bread. The bread is, I remember correctly, use it for the settlers. The settlers actually require bread from you. The pioneers, not that much. They're fine with just eating meat, but the settlers actually require bread from you. So we're gonna probably try to cover this thing maybe in the future. I don't know, we're gonna see. After the sheep farm is ready and after the pig farm is ready, two new buildings gets unlocked. The butchery after the pig farm, and the weaving mill and the tailor from the sheep farm, right? So the sheep provide you with wool. The wool then gets to the weaving mill, which is over here, and you get it next to the sheep farm, which is here. So it's actually like a good idea to build it like quite close. And after that, after the weaver gets the cloth production up and running, all of that thing is get provided into the tailor. Now the tailor requires leather. Leather can be gained from hunting, that's for sure, and I don't know, can you get it from cattle? Maybe. And of course the cloth. And with those two items, the tailor inside of that building will try to provide your citizens with proper clothing. And you need proper clothing for everybody in order to keep them happy. Something similar to Anno games, where you needed to provide the people with proper clothing in order to keep them happy, okay? Otherwise they're gonna get just angry at you. But of course the first priority is always food, water, and some kind of housing. Then comes probably clothing, entertainment, and religion somewhere on the way. Now, with the tailor working, you get clothing, and the butchery just requires to be placed. Like once you build the pig farm, try to build the butcher quite close to it, because the butcher has to go manually to the pig farm, grab a pig, and then go back to his workplace and then butcher the poor thing in order to provide you with food. Later on, I don't think this is much of a difference for the butcher to transfer the food to like a warehouse, but having additional warehouses closer to your main production buildings is actually like a cool idea, because you're gonna have like a buffer. So that means that you are not limited to the stockpile of the production building alone, right? So for example, the butcher can only have 5 meat in his storage, in his like personal storage, So let's say that you get all of a sudden like a huge boost in citizens and you're gonna require a huge amount of food before you can try to establish additional food production chains, right? So the 5 food from the butcher won't last long. So actually building a warehouse quite close to him is not a bad idea. Same goes for the clothing. If you don't feel like you want to stockpile clothing, then at least try to stockpile some of the rat materials just in case, because I'm not exactly sure how the future difficulty of the game will develop, because there's like still a bunch of things to add. Like the developers still haven't added, I think, the Indians, the natives, which you can try to interact somehow. I think the combat system will change, and there also is supposed to be like different threats for the city, because at the moment there are not that big of a threats. Like it's quite hard to actually lose in this game at the beginning. At the moment, actually, it's really hard to lose this town. I will have to do something extremely stupid in order to actually lose all of this thing, like get too many people and won't be able to feed them, or maybe get too many people and don't provide them with necessary housing, or have too many people and don't have a doctor, and stuff like that. So you get the idea. Right, we have food, everybody is happy. Right, so this should cover the basics of providing resources for your pioneers. So basically at the moment this town is self-sufficient. I could literally leave it over here and this town won't be able to collapse. Unless something bad happens. Like the only thing that can actually at the moment destroy my city is like all of a sudden a big attack of bandits, or me running out of wood in order to provide firewood for my buildings, like for my houses. But because of the new building, the forester, this is not like even an issue anymore. So I'm kind of like wondering, can I try to plant a forest in the desert? Probably we're gonna try to do that thing later on in the game. I don't know, we're gonna see. The thing is that for now, I'm gonna try to play once again a little bit in the background. I'm gonna leave this town to gather a little bit more of money, to make me more space, because I don't feel like I want to destroy all of this forest. Like this is resources, this is money, so what's the point, right? So yeah, I'm gonna leave probably it now. Maybe gonna build like one more lumberjack somewhere in the background, and like to increase the speed of this thing. So basically all of this forest needs to disappear. And after that, we're gonna try to plan ahead what else we could try to do. I think I'm gonna try to develop now maybe on this direction. We need to now to provide the people with grain once again, with mill, with bread, and with the saloon. And with those things happening, I think the next thing that's gonna happen is that we're gonna unlock finally the settlers. And the settlers will allow us to unlock even more advanced buildings. So for example, the gunsmith, we'll be able to get the sheriff, which will provide you with money if you're gonna capture bandits. Additional like money, not much, but still money. And and I'll be able to build the bank, one of the new buildings as well in the game. And I think in the next episode also, we're gonna try to finally build the railroad station that I haven't like even covered yet. So probably gonna have to get rid of the stone mansion and build it like over here. I don't know, we're gonna see. Let me know if you guys have any questions, if you have like any issues or something you want me to try to cover in the next episode. Sorry if this looks like a let's play. I try to put it as a guide, like at the beginning at least, because we already covered at the beginning, but then again I want to play through the new stuff as well. So I thought that making like a little bit of a guide is actually a good idea. Anything else? I don't think so. So instead of like rambling, I'm gonna leave it as over here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the episode, please click the subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.